Hello, everybody. This is Deanna with Food Bank Beautiful, and right off the bat, I want to know how many of you missed the hat. The hat is back. It's that time of year where I like to keep my head covered, so you probably see it from now until, I don't know, June or July, while the rest of me is barely clothed. Okay, so I posted this video and apparently had a great big lovely senior moment because I forgot to post the end result. And so I have gone back and gathered all of those things, and I am going to repost this from beginning to end. So it's going to feel like a repeat for, I think there was a couple hundred of you who had already seen the video. So, you know, what you missed was you missed the finished chicken teriyaki jars, and you didn't see the finished fried chicken, and I don't think you saw me sample the chicken and rice soup and the biscuits. So that's what's in this video. So if you have seen this before and you do not care about those end things, which is fine, you just move on to the next video, okay? If you haven't seen it before, forget everything I just said. You know, don't make judgments that, you know, this girl is a dingbat. She is, but, you know, and she's a hot mess. So things like this happen more frequently than not. All right, so I'm going to clean that up first and get that processed and ready to download and out to you guys. And then I am going to think about some preservation products for the next few days. Pretty tired today. I did so much work yesterday that I'm feeling pretty pooped. I have a couple of easy projects that I'm thinking about. They're just dehydrating some green beans and some celery and maybe some carrots. And then I have this gorgeous butternut squash. I kind of want to can this. Don't be afraid. It's so good roasted, but I think I want to can it and make a butternut squash soup base. So it would just be butternut squash in a jar, probably with a teaspoon of salt. And then when I wanted to make the soup, my butternut squash is already cooked. Drain it out, add the broth, add the cream, add the ginger, add whatever else I want to put in there, and I have a nice, beautiful, creamy soup. So I kind of want to do that, but at the same time, I kind of just want to sit on my butt. My big, fat, Eastern European butt. And your chances of seeing the butt, not in its natural form, God forbid, I think that's a huge violation, but in a pair of shorts, because that's what I'm wearing today, and I'm dinking around in my kitchen, so, you know, you could see the shorts and the Eastern European backside, which you guys have seen before because you've seen me walk around my kitchen before. Okay, let's see what happens. Let's see what we can mess up. What time is it? Oh, it's only 12:15. I could do a lot of damage between now and then. I'm also contemplating making a jar of that teriyaki chicken tonight for dinner and trying it and make sure I like it. And if I do, I am going to make a couple more jars in the future. All right, so my apologies for screwing up your video. I'm going to repost it, and then for anybody who hasn't seen it, it'll look great. And for those of you who suffered through the end and then wondered, what? No finished product to show us? This girl is, you know, she's not the brightest light in the house. All right. I'll talk to you guys later. Ta-ta. Good morning, everybody. This is Deanna with Food Bank Beautiful, and it is September 11th, about 10 o'clock in the morning. Now, I have been up since about, I don't know, 6:30, 7:30, somewhere around there. Grandma's been up, has eaten breakfast, watched her birds, and now she's tucked in for a morning nap. My husband cleaned my kitchen this morning and cleaned my stove, which I have been looking at for days, but just have not felt like cleaning it, so I didn't, and it was horrible, but he did it for me this morning, so he's scrumptious, girls. Okay, I have 5 pounds of chicken breast that I am going to address today, and I am suddenly in love with quarts of soup frozen in jars in my freezer. So if you've been watching me regularly, you know that I made a chicken tortilla soup. It is in 3 quarts in the freezer. Then I made a bean soup. It is in 3 quarts in the freezer. And this morning I'm going to make a chicken and rice soup. This is one of my favorites to make. And everything that's going to go in my soup today, with the exception of the celery and the carrots, is a food bank item or something like turkey broth that I made out of a turkey that I received from food bank some months ago, or even the chicken stock. So most of it is food bank items. For those of you who are new, this is a channel that mostly I do food bank hauls from the food bank. But I have been sick for a month and just haven't gone to the food bank. Also, this is a horrible problem to have, but my food bank is overly generous. So even though I went 4 weeks ago, honestly, with what I had on my shelves, stuff that I had preserved from the food bank earlier and stuff that they had given me that last time, it was enough to feed my family right up until this week. We have food for this week, but I do need some things that I normally can get at the food bank on a regular basis, and so I am going to go tonight. I'm really hoping, I know this is going to sound not sexy, but what I really want is dried beans and milk and some fresh fruit and vegetables. That's what I hope to come home with, so we will see what I get. And because they are over generous, even though it doesn't look like it when you see the food bank haul, I say no to so many things because I just don't need them. I also have some, I don't think Grandma will mind if I show this. I have about 5 big packages of poise. Those are just extra protection pads that you might use when you're older in case you have a little leak. But about a year ago, I switched her over to the pull-ups for adults. And if any guys are doing elder care, I swear by those. If you are the caregiver, those things can make your life so much easier. So I have 4 or 5 of those packages of poise. We bought them in bulk when we lived in New Mexico, and I brought them here, or I sent them up here because I wasn't sure if she would be using them up here, and she hasn't. So I'm going to go ahead and donate those today, and somebody else's little grandma or little mom, or whoever can have those. So that's a good thing. So like I said, Food Bank Beautiful. Normally I cover food bank hauls, and then I like to cook with my food bank groceries and show you how to make your food bank groceries get you through a week or 2 weeks. But today I am participating in the Every Bit Counts challenge. Now, there are videos out there, projects 1 through 21. Well, why is it a project and not day 1 through day 31? I was sick for almost a month, and I missed a good portion of the Every Bit Counts challenge. So I decided I would still do it, but I would do multiple projects per day until I got to 31, and that would be the equivalent of the Every Bit Counts challenge. Now, I love to cook. I love to preserve. I like to look and see what I've made. I like to serve it down the line when I'm tired. And so that's what we're going to do. So today, if I haven't said it already, we are making chicken and rice soup. We are making fried chicken for my husband, kind of these fried chicken nuggets. And then I'm going to make meal in a jar, a chicken teriyaki. There's my eye itching like mad. Yeah, that's attractive. All right. I brushed my teeth this morning, people. Put on clean clothes. Got my hair back there in a little ponytail that isn't frightening, and let's get to it. Okay, I have chopped my celery and my carrots and that jalapeno. I gave it a taste test, and it is honestly like a bell pepper. There's no heat whatsoever, but that doesn't matter. We're going to toss it into our pot. You can see that I use about 1/3 of celery and about 2/3 of carrots because honestly, I love the carrots. And then in this bag right here, I'm just going to throw the ends of my carrots and celery and throw it back in the freezer, and that'll be for my broth bag. That sounded kind of funny, didn't it, for my broth bag? All right, let me get this counter cleaned off, and then I think I will read the directions for the teriyaki chicken, and we will do that next. Well, not quite next. I have 5 pounds of chicken that I put in the refrigerator yesterday. It's nice and thawed. So we're going to cut that up, but I'm also going to throw my broth into this this crock pot too. Let's go ahead and get that in there. And then the soup can be well on its way. I'll cut up the chicken for the soup first, throw that in there. And then the soup could just do its thing for most of the day until I come back and season it. So there's that. And there is that. One was turkey and one was chicken. It'll make no difference whatsoever. Okay. Now, with that little tiny bit of work, I'm pretty happy. My present self does not mind making soup. I love making soup. And my future self is like having a party because they know that there's going to be meals in the next month that I don't have to cook if I don't feel like it. And that's the important part. If you can prep ahead for yourself to give you some grace on those days where you're busy, where you're tired, where you don't have all the ingredients to make something, you have taken care of your family in advance. And to you guys who do that, love ya. To you guys who are thinking about doing that, I love you too. For you guys who have never done it, don't intend to do it, but are still watching this video, woohoo! Love you too. All right, I guess I'm mushy this morning. All right, let me clean this up, and I'm gonna cut the chicken in chunks. You don't need to watch me do that. I'll show you the finished, and then we'll divide it into 3. 1 for the soup, 1 for the fried chicken that my husband likes, and 1 for a new recipe that I'm gonna try today. I'll come back. You guys, you better come back too. Okay, I'm back. I have rinsed all of my chicken breasts, which is about 5 pounds right there. And I reread the directions and looked at the ingredients on the chicken teriyaki. And I think that I am going to go ahead and make a full recipe of that. Could be scary. I was going to try to pop this lid off to see what this tastes like. Well, we can do that later. I don't know what mirin is. That's the only ingredient I'm not familiar with here, but we will see. So with that in mind, I rummaged through my freezer and I found my last remaining package of chicken breasts, which is right here. I'm just going to let these thaw, and I'll make my husband fried chicken out of that, the chicken teriyaki in a jar out of this, and to my soup, I have 2 cans of chicken in a can. I'm going to add those and call it good. Just going to call it good, people. So let's do it right there. And I'm going to leave the juice and the fat in. It should be just fine. And mostly I do use these cans of chicken for soup recipes, and they're absolutely perfect. They're so yummy. So that's what we're doing today. We're not going to worry about it. We're not going to stress about it. So there we go. Okay, now I'm not gonna add the rice until later in the day because I don't want it to get all mushy. And then that soup should be good. I'll season it a little later too. So right now I can put the lid on it and forget about it. So the next thing we're gonna do is we're gonna make the teriyaki chicken. So let me go read the directions and make sure I know what I'm doing, and then I'm gonna come back for you guys, okay? All right, I'll see you in a few minutes. All right, I am now going to start my chicken teriyaki in a jar. And the first thing that I did, I want you guys to do it too. Over in this pressure canner, I have 3-quart jars. Came through the dishwasher, then I hand wash them, rinse them, fill them with water, and stick them in my pressure cooker and do a little sterilization, a little hot water. Keep them hot, whatever you want to call it. So right here is the chicken that I still need to chunk. And the directions are really easy. You mix everything, you throw it in a pot. I got a cast iron right here. You put it on the stove and let it simmer for 5 minutes. And then you can it. Now, one of these ingredients I have never had before. It is called mirin. And I do not know what mirin is. I don't know what it tastes like. And so I'm going to take a little sample for you. Yeah, I'm going to take one for the team, people. You see me go like this, you're going to have to make your own choices. We're just going to take a little sip because I really want my chicken teriyaki to taste good. If I do not like this, I'm going to use chicken broth instead. Now, because I'm altering a USDA, I don't know if USDA is the right word, but you know what I mean, an approved recipe, you will have to consider it Rebel canning, although I think you can substitute in most recipes broth for wine. I've done it before, so I'm not worried about it. Even the directions have said you can do it. But let's see what this is. You ready? Here's to being brave, people. Yeah, that's good. Wow. It tastes exactly like an ingredient in the teriyaki you would get at your little local Chinese, Japanese, Thai place. So we're going to use it. I'm not scared now. I know the other flavors. I have sesame seed oil, rice vinegar, soy sauce, and honey, so I am not worried about it. So let me get my chicken chopped and then we'll just do it together, okay? All right, now you saw me cut that chicken on my cutting board. This is my only cutting board. I just don't have room for all the lovely ones that separate everything out. So what I do is I just take my sponge and I wipe off my cutting board. Like so. And with the other side of my sponge, I dip it into apple cider vinegar and I just give it a nice over. And that seems to work perfectly well for me. It's my kitchen. It's my kitchen. So I can do what I want. I'm the queen of my kitchen. If you do it differently, that's fine. You do what works for you. I will do what works for me. However, if some of you have a better idea than what you just saw me do, if you want to leave it in the comments in a respectful manner, that would be fine. I would love to see what everybody does. So that is done. Okay? Now, here is my chicken, but what I'm going to do now is bring you down and we're going to make the teriyaki seasoning. Okay, the good stuff. I wonder if that mirin has a little bit of alcohol in it. Corn syrup, fermented rice extract. and some alcohol, salt, citric acid, water, and salt. Yeah, because I can feel that. Even after a little tiny sip, I can feel it. Now, it's nothing to worry about. I'm not going to, not going to set off any alcohol meter. Plus, I'm not driving till 4 o'clock in the afternoon, so I am perfectly fine. But you can taste it, and it tasted really good. I'm now very excited for this recipe. So I will come back to you in just a second. Okay, let's get this done. This is so easy. I'm excited. It's only 11:15 in the morning. I have chicken and rice soup right over here. All I need to do is season it a little later and add some rice. And then I have the canner going. We're making the chicken teriyaki. And I have some chicken breast out there to fry for my husband probably later this afternoon. So let's get to it. The first thing it calls for is 1 cup of soy sauce. And I'm just taking a look down here to see if I have anything open. And I do. But I don't think it's a cup, so that's why I bought another one. Let's see how close we are. 1 cup of soy sauce. Oh, we'd have been short. That's about 3/4 of a cup, so I'm glad I did that. Let's go ahead and open this. Might have to, I don't know if I can get the thing off. Do you guys struggle with these things? There we go. And of course the other little tab. There we go. Okay, let's do 1 cup of soy sauce. Right there. First ingredient is in. 1/4 cup of rice vinegar, which is right here. You guys see that? I got all of these ingredients at Walmart, so if there's a Walmart around you, you can very easily find these ingredients. So that is 1/4 cup of rice vinegar. Which is right there. Perfect. Look at us. We're making our own chicken teriyaki. 6 tablespoons of honey. And I just used the last of my honey a day or 2 ago. Usually my husband and I will buy it at Costco and it lasts us at least a half a year, maybe longer than that. Get that off. There we go. 6 tablespoons of honey. Here we go. Let me bring you down. Right there. There's 1. I'm going to overfill this one because I didn't get all the honey out of that one. 2. 3. 4. Same thing. 5. And 6. Right there. Put that right there. I can use my spoon to get out the rest that's on the bottom. Okay. I have a horrible little fruit fly bothering me immensely this morning. Okay, let me put that over here. Now it's going to call for 6 tablespoons of mirin. Again, that's going to look like this. You can get it at Walmart. Most Walmarts anyway. So 6 tablespoons. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, we've got that in. Now we're going to use 4 teaspoons of sesame seed oil. And let me see if I have one of these open. Yes, I do. Let's use it first. I might have enough already here, but that'll give me an extra one in the back. 4 teaspoons. 1, 2, 3, and 4. Look at us, moving along. Moving along, people. Let me put these things back that I have used. I'm going to use the rice vinegar. Yep. Okay, so what is it calling for now? 2/3 cup of brown sugar. And I don't have a 2/3. I have a 1/4 measuring cup, so I'm going to do 2 of those. And then just a little bit more. There we go. That should be close to 2/3. Now we're going to add garlic powder and ginger powder and salt. So let me gather those 3 things and I'll be right back. All right, I'm back. We are going to add now 2 teaspoons of garlic powder. 1 and 2. And then we're going to add 2 teaspoons of ginger powder. 1 and 2. And then 2 teaspoons of non-iodized salt. You probably hear that in all the canning videos that you watch. And it's very important that you use non-iodized. So let's go ahead and do that. 2 teaspoons. I believe I'm only going to use 1 because there's a lot of salt in the soy sauce and I just don't want that much salt. So that's what I'm intending to do. And that is everything. So let me whisk this together. I'm going to put it on the stove and bring it to a simmer. And then I'm going to add the chicken and cook for 5 minutes. While that's going on, I am going to get my counter space ready to fill jars. That's pretty sticky. Now, when I was in college, I had a girlfriend from Hawaii, and her family was Japanese, and she used to make us the best teriyaki chicken in the world. And I have made my own from scratch as well. So I'm going to taste this and just see what the flavor tastes like, okay? Doing it for you guys. Okay. It tastes pretty good. It's a little bit salty, I think. But I think when we add the chicken and we can it, it should be pretty good. I would add more sugar to this, but I'm not sure how the canning will work. Let me think about that. Okay. In the end, I decided not to add anything additional to this recipe to keep it a safe, canning approved recipe. However, if I make this again, I will not add the extra teaspoon of salt and I will use a low salt sodium. Having said that, let's move this over to the stove. I'm going to bring it to a simmer and then I'm going to add the chicken and let it cook for 5 minutes. Actually, I add the chicken now and bring the whole thing to a simmer, and once it simmers, we cook it for 5 minutes. So Okay, let's take a look at it down here. Next time you see me, I will have it right here and we'll be canning. My chicken teriyaki has finished its simmering for 5 minutes. It is sitting right here, and we are going to go ahead and fill our canning jars. And that shouldn't be too difficult, so let's go ahead and do it. I'll bring you down and you can see what I'm doing down here. So I have 3-quart jars and kind of a messy little shirt going on, but it will be all right. We're just going to go ahead and get this into the jars. Maybe. And usually I fill 1 jar at a time, but because I'm dealing with chicken today, I want to make sure that I get it equally distributed between the jars before I deal with the liquid. All right, that's just about all the chicken. A little tiny bit more here. And now I'm going to go ahead and get the broth, if you will, or the teriyaki sauce into the jars. We want 1.25 inches of head space. That's about right there. I'm not sure I have enough, so I'm just kind of going between both jars. If I run, that looks to be about 1.25, maybe just a tiny bit more sauce needed, but this one looks like it's, well, let's go ahead and dump it, shall we? All right. Okay, perfect. All right. That is about 1.25 inches in each jar for head space. Now, this teriyaki sauce is very sticky. So the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take care of my rims. I have some clean cut paper towels, and I have my ever steady apple cider vinegar. Who can live without that, right? Okay. I am actually going to add a tiny bit of water. That's 1.25. That's 1.25, and that's 1.25. And I don't know where my headspace measurer and debubbler is. I'll have to ask my husband when he gets up from a nap if he's seen it. All right, let's look back down here. Now, first thing I'm going to do is I'm just going to take a knife, and a knife is not recommended, but I don't know where my debubbler is, so we're just going to have to use what we have. Okay, I feel like all the air is out of that. Let me air is out of that. Okay, and the air is out of that. Now that did bring the level down just a tiny bit, so I'm going to add just a little bit of hot water. There we go. All right, now we're going to take care of the rims. So I like to take a paper towel, dip it in the vinegar, bring it over to the jar, and I like to go around the edge and the sides. There we go. We're going to put on a flat lid and a ring, and we're going to do fingertip tight. It's pretty hot. And we're going to put it in the canner. We're going to do the next one. Clean paper towel, dipped in vinegar. We're going to go around the edge and the rim. Just like so. Make sure nothing's sticky. And our third one. Okay, that looks good. These were all washed and sterilized. Fingertip tight, don't overdo it. Oh, and into the canner it goes. Now, you hear me say this all the time. Follow the directions for your specific pressure canner and your altitude. Mine is set for an altitude of 10,000 feet or less. So here we go. I'll show you. We're going to move from open to close. That's step one. Then we're going to make sure that our canner is on exhaust. And then we're going to do pressure cook high 90 minutes. And we're going to hit start. And that's it. Just like that, we made 3 quarts of chicken teriyaki to put on our shelves for a night when we absolutely do not want to cook. And let me show you, while I was cooking and doing my thing, I was able to keep my kitchen clean. And that is 100% because Honey Bunny unloaded my dishwasher, then he loaded it, then he cleaned off my oven. So that's a pretty good deal. I will bring you back when I pull these jars out of the canner, and then I am going to post this video. I don't know if I might put the fried chicken on it. It depends. If you don't see the fried chicken, you don't see the fried chicken. No one's gonna, pass away because they didn't get to see Deanna make fried chicken. So we'll see. I said pass away, but what I meant was pass out. There's a big difference, and I don't want anybody to pass out, and I certainly don't want anybody to pass away. All right, I'll see you in a little bit. Okay, you can probably hear the pressure canner, but if I don't fry this chicken now, I'm not going to get it done before I have to go this afternoon. So we're just going to deal with the noise. If the noise sends you over the edge, fast forward to the end. This is the last thing I'm going to do on this video. So down here, I have a mixture of flour, pepper, and garlic salt. And right here I have, look at the color of those egg yolks. I have some egg yolks and some water, and I'm going to add some Parmesan cheese to this mixture right here. This is what makes this fried chicken so good. Probably don't think I need more than that, but we will see. On the stove, I have my frying pan heating up with about 1 inch of oil in it. Okay, I'm just going to get my chicken ready. So, we're just going to dump a couple in there, like so. Put a couple in here. Not too many, we don't want to overcrowd. Let me go grab a lid. Give that a good jumble. Pull those out. They look like that. Just stick them on a paper plate. And we'll do the next half. Just gonna plop them in here. There we go. Plop them into there. Maybe put the lid back on. There we go. Shake. And there we go. And I have one little stray piece here. Now I will fry up those eggs when I'm done and feed them to my chickens. So that should be all right. Okay, in a few minutes when my oil's hot, I'm just going to fry them in a pan of oil. I'm not going to bring you over there because it's hard for me to have the phone over there. And so I'll just show you the finished project. All right, I have finished frying the chicken. You can hear my canner over here. It still has 13 minutes, and then it's got to cool down for an hour, and then we will pull out those jars of chicken teriyaki. The soup back over here is doing fine. I added about 1.5 cups of rice, and we expect to be able to eat that about 6 o'clock tonight. This is what I want to show you. This is my fried chicken. Doesn't that look good? I'm going to taste it for you guys. Now my husband will go through this in about 2 days. He loves this. This is one of his favorite things. So here I took a piece and I just cut it on my cutting board. Now I did clean my cutting board again, exactly like I showed you earlier. So let's see what we got here. Nice little piece. Perfect. Absolutely yummy. I'm going to eat another bite. Can you see that crispy crust? You guys, that's perfect. So if you have some chicken breast sitting in your freezer, and you have an egg or two and a little bit of water and some Parmesan cheese in a can somewhere, some salt and pepper and some garlic salt, you can make this. If you cut your chicken into small pieces, it fries up so much faster and you're not standing in front of that hot stove wondering, when is my chicken going to be done? So I'm going to take a bite to my husband. He's outside talking on the phone, and I'm pretty sure this is going to bring him back into the house. All right, I think that's everything today. I'm going to sit down and rest. I have an appointment this afternoon at 4:40, and I'll see if I can't get this downloaded and out to you guys in the next day or two. All right, thank you so much for watching. You guys are lovely as always, and I will see you soon. Phew. All right, I got Grandma fed, I got my husband fed, and I'm gonna taste a few things for you, and then I'm gonna sit down and enjoy my soup. Now, I am going to have 4 quarts of chicken and rice soup that when they cool down can go into the freezer. If you look down here, you'll see 2 are full and 2 are empty. But I measured them out in those jars, and I needed to add a little water and a little more chicken stock. So I dumped 2 out, mixed everything together, and then refilled 2 quarts. I wanted to make sure I had enough to feed everybody tonight, and then I will put the other soup in these. I'll clean the rims, put a white lid on them, and toss them in the freezer in an hour or 2 once they've cooled down. So chicken and rice soup, let's taste it, shall we? And you guys can kind of see what it looks like from one of these jars. Carrots, peppers, onions, celery, rice, chicken, and chicken stock. Here we go. Tastes like home, you guys. I got celery in that bite. That's the only way I like my celery, is cooked it in things. Now, my biscuits are thin. I would like them a little higher. So next time I make freezer biscuits, I need to not roll out my dough as thin. Okay? But I put some butter on it. And now we're going to taste it. You ready? Cheers to you guys. Here we go. Okay, those are really good. Whether they're flat or not, they taste delicious. So I am now going to sit down. After I pour myself something to drink, I'm going to enjoy my soup. I'm going to watch TV with my husband. In a little while, I'm going to come in here and clean up my mess. And later tonight, I am going to serve everybody some pumpkin pie. Stay there. I am also going to show you, because I'm going to add this as an addendum to the every little bit counts challenge. Let's check the lid. It's good. This is 1 jar of 3 of teriyaki chicken. They all came out perfect. So here it is. When I make this, I will bring you guys along. That's it.